It's over.
I got a question for y'all.
I'm about
You stop me.
Spurs got the number 1 pick. Hornets got the number 2 pick in the NBA draft for this year. Everybody's saying it's a foregone conclusion that the Spurs are gonna draft Wembanyama. But do you think they should take a different route? The only reason why I ask is because over time in history in the NBA players, tall NBA players, have,
foot issues,
injury issues. So would it be smart for them to take a different route or get the generational talent, even if there's concerns about keeping him healthy throughout his career?
Well, he gonna sell tickets, so of course they gonna want him over there.
I mean, yeah, but
I'm gonna say,
what if you can sit here and trade that number 1 pick and get a ass of first round picks throughout the next, 4-5 drafts, and then be able to build your team that way, instead of taking the risk of having a player that could potentially have career-threatening injuries because of his height.
I think they did the right thing because the last 2 picks, the picks that everybody know of, the tall guys were David Robinson and Tim Duncan. And those ended up being great picks for them. I think as long as they go through the same thing they've been doing with over the last 45 years with Popovich, it'll be okay. I just think what everybody need to be looking at, I don't think he should go first. Because for the same reasons that you said, I wouldn't pick him as first anyway. I would pick Scoop.
He has to go number 1 for me.
Because when they went 1-on-1, it was a good ass matchup and it was close enough. They was attacking each other, both of them getting their rocks off. I would definitely go Scoop instead of, because Scoop is just as good.
It Scoop or Scooped
with a T. Scoop is. I would go because I think he'll be a longer lasting player. However, Spurs be having all that good luck with everything else, with all their tall players and shit, because they do that resting shit.
Hey, Sleepy Brown.
Well, they getting fined now for that.
Yes. Why you so sleepy, Setifer? The mediocre.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Huh?
Ain't nobody asleep.
You sitting there typing with your eyes closed. I can see you. That's the only reason why, because it's like, yeah, it's a 99% chance that they're gonna pick Wembanyama, but the dude is 7'4" and move like a 2 guard,
and he's only like 18, 19. He's 19.
Yeah, so he's gonna keep growing, but there's also has to be concerns about that, because when you look at, let's see, players that tall like George Mearson and Manute Bol,
but Porzingis been pretty healthy.
No, he hasn't. Porzingis had an ACL issue. If Porzingis was healthy, he would still be with the Knicks. But they traded him because
I'm talking about with the Wizards.
That's 1 year though. He ain't been there that long. He got traded like last trade deadline, or some shit like that. But you see, he's not the same player he was, because in New York, they was talking about he was the next best thing, and then he had the ACL issue, and all that other stuff followed.
Who are you talking about again?
I'm just saying through Kristaps
Porzingis. Oh yeah.
I'm just saying with players that tall, there's always that that injury factor you got to think
Yep.
about, because
How tall is Shaq?
it just happens. Like Selm
Selm
1,
one.
Selm 2, somewhere up there. I mean, injuries gonna be, that's just a part of the game. Because, like even these short players, they be having injury issues, injury concerns and stuff like that. I'm just saying, with him being that tall, there's more of a risk involved when it comes to injuries.
Yeah, so with me, if I was an owner or a GM, I would never pick a 7-foot player because, to me, the top 7-foot player is Shaq, right? And Shaq was muscle when he first got in. And even with that, he started getting injured, 4 years in, 5 years in? How many years he did with Orlando? 4? Then he got traded. So by the time he reached 7, 8, he was done. Like, I ain't gonna say done, but he was like so injury prone. It was crazy.
But NBA was different back then. They had hacker Shaq. They not hacking no players nowadays. Like, they might take fouls and all that other shit, but they not like when Shaq was with the Lakers, the Portland Trailblazers, they would sit here and stack up on centers. So then when they played the Lakers, they had about 4 or 5 different centers they could throw out there to just take fouls. NBA teams ain't doing that nowadays.
I mean, but the tall player that's been in this league the whole time that is still going through some of those same issues, Kevin Durant. Because Kevin Durant is definitely 7 foot, and he tried to list himself at 6'10". And they basically got called out when they was like true height. They did that true height stuff through the NBA, and he went from 6'10" to 7 foot. So he's a 7-footer, and he still has all those issues. Basically, when his first injury came, they rest up and just keep coming. So yeah, that just says when you're tall, you're playing basketball. That's it.
And when you got a shot like that, you're going to have people all in your grill trying to block it. So you're going to there's always the potential of landing on somebody else's foot. And,
Anybody can do that.
But I'm saying, with Wembanyama being that tall and playing like a guard,
it'd be different.
Yeah, there's just even more of a risk. I mean, I could be saying all this just to say I hope that they draft Scoot Henderson so the Hornets can get Wembanyama at number 2.
So who do you think the Hornets would get? Because they did in the mock draft that the Hornets are going to take someone else, and Blazers was going to go for Scoot. And I think that is a Jordan thing. Skip.
Well, see, that's the thing, because like Scoot is only like 6'2", and he's more of a point guard than a 2 guard. But they already got LaMelo as their point. So yeah, it'll be a nice little dynamic 1-2 duo punch.
I was just thinking about this one thing. Melo is beloved by the city of Charlotte.
I mean, the love might not be mutual if they don't start.
I would trade if I would trade.
I was gonna do a segment about that, like when the Jazz, they was able to trade Rudy Gobert for a lot of picks. They was able to trade Donovan Mitchell for a lot of picks. I was gonna say, with the Hornets facing mediocrity for another year, would it make sense for them to trade LaMelo, get a bunch of picks, and start fresh? But especially, I was gonna say that especially if they ain't get the number 1 pick to get Wembanyama. But I mean, they got the number 2 pick. They could have a dynamic backcourt, and build around that. But they got to stop making these stupid moves of giving Gordon Hayward $30 million a year for like 4 years. They got to stop doing dumb shit like that, or they just gonna be stuck with two good players, and then once their contract is up, they're gonna be leaving.
Yeah. So I think the same thing, but I think if I was Charlotte, I would basically go if they have that. If they go for the backcourt, something else they need strong. You think the league going back to big centers? I think it is.
Too much running.
As long as the center can keep the defense honest, like if the center can't shoot, I don't think they're gonna play small. I think they'll play more small ball. But if teams can get a center that is half of what Jokic is, I can see it slowly changing back to the big man.
I think Warriors definitely changed the game when they came in with that def lineup some years ago, and then everybody, instead of finding a way to staying big to beat it, decided to go small and try to beat it. But we are in the league now where even the big man could be put in the def lineup. I mean, they're all fast. They're all shooting now. We're becoming a European league, and Seth look like he about to die. So, tell them where they can find you, bro.
No, I ain't about to die, man.
You like this?
But yeah, you can find me.
I will say the Hornets. I mean, not the Hornets. The Warriors. With the Warriors, they could have continued it. Where they messed up at was trading Wiseman. If they would have gave him just enough time, he could have been that next, that bridge piece in the middle. Him, and then, with Andrew Wiggins, with Jordan Poole, like just give them enough time to come together.
He could
with them.
He could at least guard an AD last series.
Yeah.
Put a big body on him.
But I think they got some good young players though with Kuminga and Moody. Like Moody, he looked pretty good in that Lakers series. Yeah. So I think with enough time, I think they'll be able to bridge it a little bit further. But having Wiseman would have just extended their window a little bit more. Okay, Seth, tell them where they can find you at.
Y'all can find me on Snapchat, TooFresh4BS. Yeah.
And you can also find him in his dreams where he's trying to go right now.
Stroking.
You can find me at you can find me at Snapchat, TooFresh4BS.
Yeah. Yeah, y'all want to see.
You can find everything I do at www.distractionnetwork.com.
Says who?
And you can find me you could definitely find me slapping it on YouTube.
Slap boxing. What?
At YouTube X-rated. I'm on two different channels. You have to watch me simultaneously to see the whole scene. It's a big
What was that
joke.
damn porno you was talking about? Window Piper or some shit?
I don't remember. I watch so much porn, I don't know.
Brian Pumper.
Oh, Brian Pumper?
From some movie.
I forgot. That dude was such a bad person, they kicked him out of the porn industry. That's crazy.
I didn't know they can do that.
Yeah, because the porn industry has all these regulations to make sure that everybody's protected. And during the time where syphilis became running rampant in the porn industry, because one guy, he was bringing random ass girls to shoots, and then he ended up being like messing with underage girls. Like he didn't know. They say while we on this before we roll out Black for you, 16 for you. Do y'all know what the age of consent is in South Carolina? Where no matter how old you is, you can have sex with a person and not go to jail.
15.
17.
You remember that it's 16.
Or is it 12?
Yeah. You remember when I was studying, I was like, why are we voting to see if we could move the age of consent down to 14? I forgot which election that was, but it ended up not going through. So I thought it was 18. But I just looked the other day because something came up in some other research. 16 in South Carolina.
You know, you can get married at 12 with the consent of your, what parental consent in South Carolina?
House. That's crazy.
I'm gonna say allegedly because this is what I was told, but I didn't look it up myself. So I'll say allegedly. I heard 12 is the age you can get married with parental consent
Nasty.
in South Carolina.
12 years old.
Do it twice.
All right, well, they can find you, Black. 16.
They can find me in St. Louis smoking.
Have you?
YouTube 16 King, High Midnight, Snapchat 16 King. You know what it is.
High Midnight. Yeah.
Until next time, take care. Be safe. Holla!
R.I.P.
Yeah,
Jerry
rest in
Springer.
peace
Ooh,
to Jerry Springer.
Jim Brown.
Jim Brown.
Yeah, Jim Brown too. So you said Jerry Springer. You said Jim Brown. Another J that has died. John Jacob Jingleheimer Smith. Rest in peace.
Who knows?
That is my name too.
It's over. Hey guys.
I hit the button as soon as you said you was ready.
Hey guys. Hey. That shit killed me.
It looked like a dude about shooting the 45.
I don't know where I don't know where that came from. It was just
Shit, I know where that come from. That's natural.
oh yeah, okay, yeah.
I got a crooked finger, so it ain't so smooth.
You got those Bill Coleman fingers. How you used to do it? Yeah.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about Wemby, man.
Wemby?
Victor Wembanyama. Victor Wembanyama.
Yes.
Number 1 draft pick overall. He's been a big prospect all year. One of the things they are saying is that he's been a bigger prospect than LeBron James was, or he is as close to LeBron James as we're gonna see, as far as a prospect goes. The big thing with LeBron James is he was the first person to ever be that big of a prospect and live up to it. Do you think? Have you seen him play yet? Have you seen Wemby play yet?
A couple games.
You seen him practicing?
He was playing against one of the G League teams or G League stars, and then I seen a couple overseas games.
Okay, I saw him in the prospect game. and I've been just seeing like highlights of him, and I've been seeing him practice and stuff, right? You want me to give my opinion first, or you want?
You go ahead. Yeah.
I don't see it, man.
What?
I don't see it. Granted,
I ain't.
I
I
didn't see
ain't
LeBron either. I didn't see LeBron. No, no, no. You know what? I kind of did see LeBron. I was just hating on LeBron in the beginning. I was a
I,
Carmelo person. Um, but I don't see it, man. All right, so here's the things to me, man. So to me, he looks like Kevin Durant, but a little more awkward because he's so damn tall. And the thing that I see with him is him being that tall. Even Kevin Durant. Kevin Durant is. They used to say he was what 7'1", but he's more like
like
6'11", right?
6'10". He like 6'10" with like a 7'1" wingspan, I think, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay,
I,
6'10". Yeah. So he is a full 6 inches taller than Kevin Durant.
golly.
Unless someone like right now, he looks awkward to me. Right? He he don't have to jump to dunk. He don't have to jump to shoot. He don't have to really do anything athletic to be on that court and be a presence. Right? That's the good thing that he has going for him. The bad thing is he's so small. I mean, another good thing is right now he is so small that his feet and his ankle could basically keep up with what's going on with him. But he's what 19?
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, 19 years old. His growing years is coming up. So, do you remember when Steph Curry he came into the league and he kept breaking his ankles or messing up his ankles, and they had to basically have him go through some intense ankle training or OT, what they call that stuff, occupational training. Yeah, OT.
Physical therapy or yeah,
Yeah,
something like that.
physical therapy,
He
but occupational. It's occupational therapy since it's basketball.
yeah.
But he's gonna need something like that to give him a chance. Like someone needs to strengthen them ankles, strengthen them feet, because ever you see with Kevin Durant, like he was a powerhouse, and then when that Achilles snap, the overcompensation snapped something else, and then he ain't gonna be right ever again. He was always surprising that he came back from the Achilles like that, but I don't think Wemby will be able to come back because he's just too damn tall, man. His stuff is already scratched out.
I like
Watch he end up getting like a 5'3" girlfriend though, because for some reason tall dudes love short girls.
short girls.
I think
Yeah.
because they like to see it come out of the throat from the bottom, something like that. I don't know.
Uh, I can't say that I don't see it. I just think that he is a high risk, high reward player with the way that he's built. I think that because if you look at through the history of basketball,
Hmm.
like even nowadays, most stars don't play no more than 60 games in the season
Hmm.
because they're resting themselves for the playoffs and among other things. So I think yes, he is a generational talent,
Hmm.
but when you look at players his size with his ability, maybe not as good as him, but with his ability, players like Porzingis, who's 7'3" and has had injury histories with his size and stuff
Hmm.
like that. When you look at Manute Bol's son, Bol,
Hmm.
he's tall. He got handles. He could shoot, but he's had a bunch of foot issues since he entered into the league.
Yeah.
And then even last year, the Thunder they drafted Chet Holmgren, and while he was playing in the summer league, he had a foot injury that caused him to miss the whole season. but they're all built the same. They're tall, lanky guys who can shoot, but their frames are real small. So like I see the talent. I think he may struggle at first, but watching him play, I mean, dude has everything you need to succeed to be a superstar in the league. I mean, he could shoot, he could play defense, he got handles, he could take big guys off the dribble, he could put little guys in the post. I know they say he's not a strong 3-point shooter, but a lot of people aren't strong 3-point shooters when they first get in the league. They sit there and take the time and put that work in. So with him being drafted by the Spurs and having Popovich as a mentor and a coach, I ain't gonna sit here and say he's not gonna be able to develop that 3-point shot, because I mean, you see the talent. It jumps off the screen when you're watching him. So I see it, and I see it even more that Popovich is his coach. Like if he was going to just some bum ass team like the Hornets, I don't think they would do what they need to do to bring the most out of him. But Popovich, he knows how to bring out the best in talent.
You know what I don't see? I just typed in Wemby vertical. His vertical doesn't come up.
But it's off the charts. That's why.
He's already 7'5", so I see him jumping right now. He's right below the rim. His head is right below the rim. And it's also the taller you are, the less of vertical you have, which is why Michael Jordan was such a big thing, because he had he was Michael Jordan 6'6", right?
Yeah.
I think he was 6'6", and he had a 49-inch vertical. Like his vertical was over 4 feet. Like that was a big, crazy, athletic phenomenon. But I'm saying Wemby jump right now. He's about 3 inches below the rim, so we'll say that's about 9'9". So we'll say 2 foot 3 inches on this jump, 27 inches, which is crazy. Only 27 inches. I'm not saying that he can't jump any higher than that, but I'm just saying in a game, I see him jumping and his head is about 3 inches below the rim.
I mean, that's kind of a good thing too, because the less he has to jump, the more he can.
That's what I was getting.
His knees. Yeah.
If he could go the Jokic route and play everything on the ground like an old man from now, like that'll save him. That'll get him down the road. But he's big and he's huge. I said both of the same things. So I don't see him. I don't see it though. I say the best pick in this draft would have been Scoop. And if I was the number 1 draft pick this year, I would have picked Scoop. If I was the number 2 draft pick this year and somebody picked Wemby, I would have picked Scoop. Which brings me to Charlotte. I'm so disappointed in Charlotte. That was crazy.
Man.
To have the undeniable number 2 pick in the draft. This is only like a 3. From what everybody that knows about basketball says, it was only 3 good players in this draft. 1, 2, and 3.
I can't say that.
I'm just saying from what everybody that knows about basketball on ESPN was saying. It was only 3 good players in this draft. Everybody else was,
I mean, there was some very good talent that went even in the second round.
I'm sorry, I was mad when I'll tell you about the Lakers later. But I would have got Scoop, man, for 2 reasons. One, he was undeniable the second best pick in the draft, and 2, the whole fan base wanted him. The whole fan base is like, Scoop, give me Scoop. And if you know the whole fan base wanted him, then you know you go sell tickets. So why would you not pick the ticket seller?
because uh, the person that owned the team that don't own it no more still owned the draft pick, and so yeah, that's what happened. Like
So
I don't get it either. Cause okay, one thing I'll say is okay. This is gonna be LaMelo's fourth season, entering his fourth season into the league. Okay, so his rookie contract is up in after 5 years. He's up for an extension, I think, during the summer, next summer. Now he's already said his priority is winning, and Charlotte hasn't been a winner since he's been there. The first 2 years they made it to the play-in and lost. Last year he dealt with a lot of injuries, and I think they only won like 27 games or so, something like that. So if his priority is winning, and you haven't been a winner, that means when it's time for his extension, chances of him re-signing are small.
right.
So why not bring Scoot in? So if you get hit with that decision, you can either trade him for a bunch of draft picks and prospects or whatever, and build around Scoot, and or bring in Scoot and have that 1-2 combination where he feel like he can see something brewing between a two guard system and possibly stay. But you kind of just backed yourself into a corner because nothing against the person they picked, Brandon Miller out of Alabama, nothing against him, but like you said, he's been looked at for the past year as the number 2 prospect in this draft. So why not you go for fit instead of best available talent? Like this is what traps a lot of teams, because think about even when the draft, who was there? Was it Melo? Whenever Melo got drafted, I think the first pick was that the LeBron draft?
Melo, yes,
Yeah.
Melo and Brian.
So the first pick was LeBron, right? The second pick was the Detroit Pistons, and they picked Darko Milicic, which led the Nuggets to get Melo. And now you see how that over time was a bad pick for them because they went for fit instead of best available talent. It's the same thing. Like they say, when you that high up in the draft, go for talent over fit, because you can eventually, get those pieces in there. And I feel like they should have traded some of their big contracts. Like Gordon Hayward, he's on the final year of his deal. You just gave Terry Rozier a contract extension like a year or two ago. Like, if you really trying to rebuild, like you could have got rid of some of these contracts and stockpiled picks, or got veteran talent to help your young guys and built around that. But now, like, you bring in another forward. You talk about bringing Miles Bridges back with Gordon Hayward. You got a young center. You got an injury-prone point guard, and it's like, where's the direction?
Right.
Oh, and you also got an owner who sold majority stakes in the team. So where's your direction? Like, instead of giving him that opportunity to make that pick, the powers that be should have stepped in and been like, yo, you drafted Kwame. We got this. But instead, people are just scared to stand up to him just because of his legacy.
We got to finish this off though. So we talked about Scoot not making it. I want to go down a little bit. Now, at number 20, Cam Whitmore was drafted, right? Cam Whitmore was slated to go like number 4.
I was gonna say that though. Like LeBron.
The test man, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Hell yeah.
Jordan number one. Jordan number one in his eyes. Cam Whitmore, right? Cam Whitmore was slated to be
he
number
went.
four coming into the draft.
He went. He went to the
He
Rockets,
went.
right?
Yeah, he went to the Rockets at 20. Um, Lakers picked Jalen Hood Scifio, whatever like that. But even like Jamie Jaquez Jr., I think that no, it wasn't him. It was it Brandon son, George Keontae? Maybe it was George Keontae. Somebody was like short but had a like 6'8" wingspan and was nothing but defense on that team. Um, I don't see how Jalen Hood is gonna help when we had Cam fall to us.
You know, I make the same arguments about the Hornets though, right? Because the Hornets had 2 first-round picks and like 3 second-round picks. They had the opportunity to either trade up and get Whitmore, or you know what I'm saying, parlay some of those picks into something else. And instead, they picked in the late of the first round. I think they picked a guard. And then at the beginning of the second round, they traded 2 picks to get the rights to a center. And then they drafted 2 other players, I believe. Now, like you said, he dropped all the way to 20. With him free falling, you know what I'm saying? Most people, they'll jump on those situations. But they didn't do it. And I think that's part of the failure of Jordan as an owner.
Yeah.
Now, who was the number 49th pick that went to the Cavaliers? Because that guy, he was projected to be a top 10 pick. Many people said he was going to be the next Kevin Durant. And he fell all the way to the 49th pick by the Cavaliers.
Imani Bates?
That's him, yeah. Now, he's built like the dude that the Pacers picked. That was the teammate of Wembanyama. Bilal something.
Oh, Bilal? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to fuck up his last name, so I'll just say his first name.
We call him Bilal.
Yeah. So he dropped all the way to the second round, 49th pick. Like I said, Hornets had like 3 second round selections. And instead of them, you know, drafting him to gel with the team, they picked another center and like I think another guard and another forward. Doing this, knowing that they already got Rozier, they already got LaMelo. Hell, what's his name? Done been in the league 3 years, coming up on his 3rd year. James Bouknight, and they still ain't found a way to use him properly. So it's like, what are you doing with these players, with these picks, if you're not trying to, you know, build a winner?
Right.
Because I mean, I don't see what they trying to do. I ain't mean to bring it back to the Hornets, but you know, just looking at that draft just kind of frustrated me about the team that I root for.
I hate hearing the word maturity issues. I looked at why he slipped. The number one thing they said was maturity issues. Come on now.
But the number 2 pick was allegedly involved in a murder when he was at Alabama. But you picked
I
him.
was there. I'm the one that handed him the gun.
Nah, allegedly, don't do that. don't do that.
I'm joking.
We don't need them problems.
Yeah, so that's weird to me. Anyway, on that note, I guess you should tell them where they can find you first.
Oh shit! Hey, man. First one. Actually, too. Y'all can find me at Manchester Move to the 7th on Twitter, the Tasman on Twitch, and Things Went Left on YouTube. No, sorry, the Taz channel on YouTube. I changed the name.
I gotta write that down.
You can find everything I do at www.distractionnetwork.com.
And you can find me on YouTube, High Midnight, and Snapchat 16 King. Boom, boom. I'm
Until
starting to get the
next
hang of
time,
it
take care. Be safe. Camel Toe Tap.
now. And we out.
I'm a speeding bullet, you bullies is tax. Always keep my strap, the strap. Got some bringing in narky like Jax. Never relax, on the attack. Anti-violent, had to relapse. Fuck I fight to the nail to prevail. When